let's set the scene. We are getting coffee and we're talking about, oh, I started life coaching. I do mindset coaching. And I have had coaches over the years. Why am I a coach? What is coaching? Who is it for? What is it like? And I am giving you an unscripted, I just want to chat high level about my experience with it and what it's like, who it's good for, all that kind of stuff. Okay. And I might jump around because there's so much and so many reasons, but I just want to give you a little glimpse if you were eavesdropping, or just to give you an idea of like where I come from, what my background and perspective is, and um, if coaching is something that you might be interested in. So in 2019 is when I got my first coach, I'm pretty sure. So I had, long story short, I gained weight during college and then I lost weight, and I wanted to maintain it and not be like afraid of gaining all the weight back. And didn't, I saw somebody on Instagram that was talking about eating Oreos and all this junk food and losing weight, and talking about like a habit based approach to eating and also emotional eating and what it's like to feel hunger and to feel full and all this kind of stuff, which I had never even thought about for a second. I would not eat because I was hungry usually. I would usually eat because I was stressed or because it's dinner time or whatever. So I followed her and ended up losing even more weight following her advice online, including like having Oreos with my meals. I did a podcast with her actually, because I ended up hiring her and working with her and her team for a few years because, and I remember, okay, so whatever. I started working with her, eating food-based stuff. That's an hour podcast in itself, or 12. But I remember the first, um, before even the first call with her or the first week, you fill out this form, and she asked, "What is your ideal life? What is it like when you wake up 1 year from now?" And I was living at my parents' house at the time. And nobody had asked me this before. And I knew I wanted to move out. So it was probably something like moving out. I should look at this thing. Anyway, I went in such detail because she prompted it to, like, what are you wearing? How do you feel? What do you look like? Where are you living? Like, I don't know. If you haven't done this exercise, do it. And if you need accountability, send it to me or DM me. Like, this is one of my favorite things to do. And even I had asked people around that time, and like, what is your ideal day? What is your ideal day in your ideal life look like? Like, you wake up and then you do what? And not that many people at the time had really thought about that and gone through the whole thing. I don't know if you have. I don't think a lot of people do. So it was super powerful for me. And it was, I also quickly realized, or not that quickly, because I was kind of, okay, anytime I would eat, it was because of an emotion. And I was eating to like cope instead of doing something to help me work through that emotion. So if I was stressed at school, I would just eat a muffin that was 600 calories and a naked juice that was 400. Like, and I might be exaggerating, I don't remember, but I just remember like I would um eat for reasons that were not hunger. And then it basically became like cognitive behavioral therapy. And because if you're not doing what you say you want to do, it's because of a reason and probably an emotion and all this stuff. So the presenting problem, as they call it, as I just learned in therapy, like there's a presenting problem. So my first presenting problem was food. And that showed like underneath like the anxiety and stress that I had, and the ways that I wasn't living in alignment. Like, and I needed to learn how to manage my emotions and also live my best life every single day. And if it wasn't exactly how I wanted it to, I needed to know I was moving in that direction. Otherwise, it would make me feel negative emotions. And at the time, I would eat because of them. And you can only for so long, like, force, there's a little bit of like, you do want to have like good coping mechanisms too. Like, if you're stressed, maybe meditate, but you can't rely only on that. Like, you also have to turn the dial down on the stress, if that makes sense. So, can you see how? Let me just say, this is why I want to work with people on so many different things. And I hope this video helps you to see like the range of my experience and what I like learning about and doing and how I can help you. Because, yeah, there's just so much. It's hard to like narrow down right now. Or over time I will, but right now I'm still very broad of like, anyway. So through that, I just learned so much about myself, and my life completely changed because I learned cognitive behavior therapy. I learned how to build habits. I learned how to work towards goals and like big emotions. I ended up moving out of my parents' house, and then I moved to San Diego, just all through this time while having this coach as honestly like partly emotional support, partly accountability. Also, I had never had anybody ask me. There were weekly check ins, which I loved, because who's actually reflecting on their own every single week? Like, I love reflecting. I love journaling. I love all of this stuff. I'm a freaking coach, but it's way better with accountability and like with somebody else, and to have somebody like invested in your life and like what you're doing and where you're going, like, and to keep you on track and to help you figure out what you actually want is so powerful. I recommend it to everybody, and I will do it for the rest of my life, when I feel like I need it, or I don't know, like I would never be opposed to it. And it'll take different forms, like, I'm sure, but whatever. Um, I could see myself doing this, like, as I have been. Because, like, the weekly check ins, it was all these really good questions. Like, again, questions I had never been asked. What are your wins? What the heck is a win? What did you learn this week? What are some learnings? What are you struggling with? What is the biggest thing for this next week? Like, how can you set yourself up for success? Like, all of this kind of language I had never heard of before. And I realized that once I knew that the weekly check-in was coming, I started like living my weeks and already starting to think like, it makes you just evaluate a little bit, like, how am I living, and is this like the way that I do want to be living? And also noticing the good of the wins and like what you're grateful for and stuff. I don't think that was on this check-in, but um it just gives you a different way to view the world, I think, and makes you feel better about like setting up your life, and also makes things feel more manageable. Like, I like having a person, like, it made me feel like less alone in this world, like, especially when I was like making decisions that nobody else that I know has made before, especially that. Honestly, that's a big reason, because I didn't know anyone that like lost weight and then naturally maintained their weight without tracking food. Um, and it got me to that point. And that's a whole other thing, because now I do track food sometimes. Like, there are different tools and strategies, and you have to let yourself evolve and do what's best for you right now, instead of trying to force a program that worked for you at a certain time in your life that might not work now. It's okay to, you know, um, use different methods, whatever. So let's see. Yeah, I did that for a few years. Then I went to therapy for the first time, I think. I had online therapy. That was good. Um, and I realized how similar it is to coaching. Like, I love that stuff. until I had my current therapist, because she like pushes me more. And like we get really deep in the therapist that I have now. So like the first time I went to her, it wasn't as good feeling. It was more like um sometimes like bad or tired after, because it was just bringing up a lot of stuff that I didn't realize about myself in a good and healing way, but that like got bad before good. But that's therapy. And I was talking to my therapist about this, and she was saying therapy is more for self-awareness, like helping people to understand themselves above anything else, like an understanding. And coaching is more action based. I can tell you what to do in coaching, like let's do this. And there's more interaction between like a coach and a client, which I heard a therapist say this and I really like it. She was saying that she doesn't like calling it patient or client because it's like a unique relationship. But for lack of a better term, she does say client. But coaching client relationship is more co created, and like you're creating a unique experience together, but it's action based. And like in my coaching in particular, I work with people who their life is amazing. They're absolutely crushing it. They're in a really good place. They've reached so many goals, and it doesn't feel good. Either they've reached everything and like they're not energized, they're drained, they don't know what the point, like what they want to do next, or they want to like leave everything and go travel or move cities across the country, switch jobs, switch industries, start showing up on social media, or their life looks really good, but they are scrolling a lot and they know it, or they're really anxious and tense. Like, how do we make it feel really good, not only look really good? And I say that because that's, and it's also people who are like, I'm ready to invest in myself. Like, I am ready to ask for help, because there's nothing wrong with asking for help. Like, which tangent, I can't believe I used to feel so bad, aka yesterday. Um, not like that bad, but like my place is not as I'm not that I don't know how to organize that well, and my place isn't always so clean. And I don't know if it's because of like time or people not coming over all the time lately, but I just got my first cleaning service booked for next week. And so last night I got 4 bags of donation and trash. And also, my brother and his girlfriend are coming to visit me at the end of the month. So, um, yeah, I got the cleaning service, and then I have visitors coming, and it's making me want to declutter and donate a bunch of stuff and make it clean. And I was just thinking about like, on one hand, I want to feel bad, but don't feel bad. I know this. I'm a coach, and the most simple things that you think you should be able to do alone, it's okay if you're not. Like, we're social beings, and also like accountability is so big. And I think do whatever you need to do to live the life that you want. And for example, for me, like I am experimenting with what's going to make my place feel really organized and clean and decluttered, and having a cleaning service come as like a benchmark of, okay, let's clear everything out and make sure it looks really good before then. That might be a thing that helps me. So similarly with coaching, coaching is helping you do what you already know you want to do. And guess what? When you work on one area, it bleeds into everything. Remember how I said I was working on the food and the hunger thing, but then it bleeds into like, okay, all of my emotions. And then I end up moving to San Diego and having a completely different life, because of working on wanting to just not gain weight back. So, um, and like with this cleaning thing, like I know that, well, yeah, just when you work on one thing, this presenting problem, there are themes underneath that show up in different areas of your life too. Like, even as simple, which it might not be simple if you haven't done coaching before, but like black and white thinking or all or nothing thinking, growth mindset. Like there are all these freaking concepts that apply to every area of your life. And this is why I love learning so much. Um, I love learning so much because it applies to so many things, working out and lifting and cooking and nutrition and friendships, community. Like everything is a skill is another thing. Like there are all of these just principles, or I don't know how you would call it, theories of psychology and mindset that um, really do affect so many areas of your life. Okay, so yeah, I had that coach. I spent thousands probably. Well, for sure I did, because even the first time was thousands. Then I did one-on-one coaching and group coaching with them over the years. Then I went to therapy. What is the next? And I had like 2 or 3 coaches in that, 3. And then I got a career coach, which, did I have one before her? Dang, I forget. But the career coach, because I wasn't fulfilled in my job or energized. But guess what? This is why they call it the presenting problem, because I come in, I'm like, get me a new job just like this, but feeling like I want my life to feel more like it did before COVID in the work world, like more collaboration and energizing. I'm not going to get into it actually, but um, she basically, I go for that and I end up starting my own business and keeping my current job. And I love my, like, I love my job now and I love my life and I'm fulfilled and I'm energized because it all works together to make like one aligned work life, like one big picture of a life that feels amazing and like my ideal dream job. Like I get to do everything that I want with the combination right now of my business in an entrepreneurial way and social media and everything, and then also my corporate job. But then through that, like it's crazy. It's honestly crazy. Like you think you're going for that, so you would think it would be like, oh, apply to jobs, or the food thing, it would be like eat this thing, or are you hungry or not? But no, it's always deeper. So with the career thing, it was a lot of learning about myself and then becoming more confident because of noticing all of my strengths and gifts, and like just becoming very confident in who I am, what I'm doing and why, which direction are we going in, and what do I want? What do I want in this life? Like, and that helps me to be more me and all this stuff. Lots of goal setting and yeah, identity stuff and strengths stuff and personality, and yeah, really, really, really cool. And really cool to, and I love having a coach to like push you in certain directions and ask you questions that you wouldn't have asked yourself, or like go through exercises that you wouldn't have thought of to do in this certain situation. And in a world with so much information out there, I saw this or heard this somewhere, like the my job as a coach is to like pick one thing and curate the information. So you might have heard these things before, but to actually do them to the fullest extent that you can with a coach, um, and like apply it in your unique circumstance is more valuable at times than just like reading the Instagram inspirational thing. Like we all know what to do, okay? We all know what we want for the most part, even though that's another thing I also worked on, is knowing what I actually want versus what I should do. And you know, but we don't do the thing, and you don't even realize what limiting beliefs are there, what fears are there. And coaching helps you to do all that stuff, to get out of your own way and be held accountable, um, all that kind of stuff. So, and then um, after the career coaching and starting my business, then I got a business coach, and that was a different kind of coaching for me because it was so much information in the best way all at once, versus a lot of the other coaches were like, okay, we're doing this a little bit at a time. there's so many different, so either sometimes there's like a topic. Oh yeah, I've also done like had a personal trainer that turns into a coach too. Um on this level, like we're talking about life, we're having check-ins, like all of this stuff. Um yeah. Oh my gosh, so exciting. I love all of it. What was I going to say with oh yeah, business coach. There's like different levels of information, and I think my coaching will evolve, and you just want to give your clients what they need. And so for the business coach, what after she had done it for some time or whatever, like I immediately got access to like all sales, all social media courses, sales courses, your like all of this stuff, how to go viral, how to do messaging and marketing, and all this different like information. But I'll tell you what, during that coaching, I still would have benefited from, and at times wished that I had. I think I honestly did that a little bit too soon for me, but also in the best way. Like, I'm so glad that I did it. I've never regretted any of this, by the way, like for even for a second. It also is, and I've spent, and each of these were thousands of dollars up front and 3 6 month commitments. And sometimes I would continue for 5 years or whatever. But it's so fun. It's like a unique learning and growing experience. Like you're learning so much education, blah, blah, blah. And to put that much energy, like actual energy, and then money energetically into something like just helps you go up. Also, with the food, the first one, the food coaching and the hunger, whatever, I got a new job and I got a promotion during that time too. And I attribute it to like some of the things from that coaching, or it helped me get there in a better way too. That's the other thing. Like you're probably gonna, oh, I don't know, you could get to your goal without me or a coach, but it's going to feel better if you go with a coach. Like I would have gotten the promotion stressed. I was having like panic attacks, anxiety attacks, and learned how to set boundaries and like do things to help work be less anxious during COVID. And then I got a promotion with strong boundaries, feeling not burned out or stressed at all. And I was like, wow, the fact that I got a promotion and I wasn't doing this, and this, I wasn't overextending and burning myself out, like helped a lot. And also knowing that you can, like, whatever emotion you feel, it helps you to like not get so lost and stuck in it, because oh, interesting. Like it helps you approach, I learned to approach things with curiosity, like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed. Next week, let's talk about this in coaching. Have a panic attack, talk to the coach. Like, this is what's going on. Ate an entire box of Pop Tarts because I had a panic attack, or like because I thought one was going to come on, and like I went to stress eating. Like, that's the, again, presenting problem helps me overall be calmer, be better at work, be not have anxiety attacks, like whatever. Okay, this is what I mean by going all over the place. What was I? Oh yeah, business coach. So here's the other thing. Not only is like, you know how I said Instagram, you can just swipe, or you have a coach bringing, like, curating the information, walking you through a specific exercise for your specific circumstance that week is different. And then same with the business coach, that was a lot of information, but I wouldn't have gotten as much out of it if I didn't do all of the work with the other coach before, because none of the stuff matters. One, if you're not implementing it, well, whatever. Or I wouldn't have, it's not just do this. And this is my favorite thing about behavior change and being a coach. Like, you can't just say do this and they don't do it. It's like, do this, but with more intensity. Like, and that's what I think like personal trainers, fitness coaches used to do. And that's when I got into starting to follow coaches on social media, like during COVID, and a lot of them are fitness coaches, but getting into that deeper level of like, if your coach is saying try harder, that's not a good coach. It's not about trying harder. It's about knowing why you're doing it. Like there are so many things underneath why you might not be taking the action that you want to take. And that's what I love helping people figure out in any area, because again, it's all the same. Like, and I've been through it with so many things like the food or building community, learning how to be alone, moving across the country, whatever. So like with the business coach with all the information, like that's all great and was super helpful. And I would recommend that before you sign up for a course like that, work with a coach that helps you figure out who you are, what you want to do, and why. Because that kind of stuff is going to drive you to actually use that information and go farther and like continue to be consistent and stuff. So if you have bought a course before or had a coach that just gave you information, I would say like first work with somebody like me at this time, because one day maybe I will be doing that, who knows. But what I like is yeah, spending time with people, getting to know them, and yeah, having that more personal, what do you want to do and why. Okay, I think that's going to be it for today. But my name is Emily. I'm a mindset coach. If you made it this far, thank you. Let me know if you have any questions. And so a big so I want to help you live your best life, because it's not only the best thing for you, it's the best thing for everybody around you. And I help a lot of people with building community. I used to not have any girlfriends, and now I have a really strong community of like badass girls in my life, and a very like impromptu community too. Like I live in a place where I see people all the time, and like I text, hey, you want to do this now? And it's like, then I see 3 people or whatever. Like I feel very socially fulfilled and inside and out, like with the tangible and also like inside. And I want to help people with that. Also, if you want to be starting a business or posting online, I can help with that, or to just stop scrolling, or if you just have things that you want to do and you haven't been doing, I can help you with that. DM me on Instagram at How I Live My Life, same as this handle. If you want to schedule a free consultation call, I do a free consultation for 30 minutes where we talk about just where you're at, what you're thinking, and I try to add as much value as possible in that call. So even if you only have that call, you'll walk away feeling better about your situation and also like knowing more about what you want and why. And it's completely no pressure. So like feel free to just do that as like an exploring thing to know what this is like. And like please, people say no all the time. So a lot of people only have that call. So please don't do that because you're like, I don't want to be sold or whatever. Which I don't think you would be like if you're my ideal client. Because if you're like me, you're like, yeah, I want to, I want to see what's out there, and you have no problem saying no if it's not for you, and that's cool too. All right, I think that's it. We're almost at 30 minutes. I'm just gonna post this on YouTube and one day on Spotify probably. But I hope you have a great day. And if there is anything you want to know more about or topics you want to hear, let me know, because I have a few in mind, but I just want to, yeah, tell you what you want to hear about and communicate like who I am and what coaching is, and then start getting into some of the topics that I go into in coaching. So you can get coaching even if it's just listening to me for a while or forever and you never actually do one-on-one. All right, I think that's it. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.